Hey guys, welcome in. In today's landing page teardown, I'm going to show you how NEMO equipment can boost its conversion rate by at least 10 to 15% with three simple tips. So if you're not familiar with NEMO, they are an outdoor brand and they sell some really cool, innovative outdoor gear. They won a ton of awards really for different types of things that they do. Reclining camp chairs, sleeping pads, sleeping bags. That's actually how I discovered them not too long ago as I was looking for a sleeping bag a few months ago for a camping trip out to Big Bend here in West Texas. But yeah, so they've got all types of really cool stuff. As I mentioned, they are an outdoor gear brand. And then just one thing to quickly note here before we actually kind of dive into these three different tips. So there's a process I follow. It's called a heuristic analysis. We look at a bunch of different things. I kind of give you a quick peek because I just picked three quick things that I wanted to just to kind of highlight in today's teardown. But really, we look at things here. You can see in the list, relevance, trust, orientation, stimulation, security, convenience, and confirmation. These are all really just a variety of different types of conversion factors that we look at. So I looked at some competitors as well, just to see kind of what they were doing in the market online. But point being, there's really a wealth of information that came out of this, but I really just wanted to kind of focus on three quick things that they could do to really boost those conversion rates by about 10 to 15%, if not more over the long run. So, all right, so let me get myself out of the way so you can see the full screen as we kind of dive in here. So first thing I want to do is talk about tip number one. So tip number one is to add a clear value proposition to give people a reason to buy. So the reason you need to have a clear value proposition is because you need to answer the question that if I'm a prospect, why should I buy from you rather than any other competitors? Now you saw over here some of the other competitors. So why should I buy from NEMO over Western Mountaineering or Sierra Designs or Marmot? So that's really the question that you should be thinking about. So as we take a look here, this is NEMO's homepage. So if we take a look here at the homepage, we can see what it says here. Find your adventure anywhere. So find your adventure anywhere is not really telling me, anything. And if you're really not telling me anything about what it is that you offer, how you're gonna make my life better by buying these products, and how do I even get started to make the purchase, I'm very liable to just really go ahead and hit that back button. So really this all comes down to clarity, because what we're looking at here, find your adventure anywhere, it's not clear at all what NEMO offers or what they do. This is really just a tagline that's kind of trying to be cute and clever. And whenever it comes to value propositions and this, really important real estate on the homepage, we want to make sure that we're clear and have a really great value proposition. So let's kind of talk through this. I want to kind of give you some tips about, how you can really, give people a reason to buy with your value proposition. So first and foremost, number one, so you want to use your headline to clearly and credibly communicate your unique value proposition. So on your homepage, you want to do that here. Even on the product pages as well, you want to make sure that you've got some clear value propositions in that space as well. And then number two, use clean copy throughout the page and include subheads, bullets, and calls to action that work together to really support the value proposition. So if you're offering, free shipping as an example, you want to make sure that you've got that called out throughout the rest of the page. As we can see, they called it out here. Other types of warranties, lifetime warranties, and things like that really kind of differentiate you and set you apart. We want to make sure that those are shown as well. And then number three is use quantitative evidence to make the value proposition shorter, easier to grasp, and more attractive to customers. So I know NEMO's won a number of awards. They could say, hey, we've won, 60 awards in the outdoor industry for the products that we offer. That's something, that's an example of using quantitative evidence to really kind of make that value proposition shorter, easier to grasp, and also you're given some tangible things. You're not just saying that we're the best outdoor company. You're actually kind of adding some proof in there as well, which leads me to kind of the next thing is number four, to use testimonials from your customers and third-party credibility indicators. And these indicators are things, as I've just mentioned, awards, reviews, different types of seals. For example, I know they've got down here at the very bottom, they've got a lifetime warranty seal. So that's could be another example as well. And then 5, so use graphics that are relevant to what the benefit is. So, really we want to show the graphics that we want to show, or people smiling faces, using these different types of products and services. So, that's something that can also be worked on here as well. And then number 6, also review pages that are just beyond your homepage for hidden gems that really should deserve more prominence in the value proposition here. So some examples like on the About Us page, on the FAQs, the helps, careers. And, as I was digging through NEMO here, as I mentioned, I found the lifetime warranty is it's buried down here in the footer, and this is something that really sets them apart from some of these other manufacturers in this space. So you can really dig through some of this information to see what are some of the other things that make them stand apart. For example, I'm looking here just at their about information. For example, sustainability. I think that's something that's really top of mind for a lot of folks in the outdoor industry. So, I think this is something that could also definitely be leveraged more on the homepage, because I don't really see too much of this, too many of these talking points anywhere else. So that's an example there. And then number 7 is test your value proposition to ensure it communicates the value and optimizes your conversion rates. So once you actually come up with a value proposition for this space, you can run what's called a 5-second test on a website such as Usability Hub. And you can Google this 5-second test. But basically, we're showing users your value proposition for 5 seconds, and we can ask them questions about, do they understand, what it is that you offer? What are the different types of products that you have? And then you actually get, feedback from not necessarily customers, but people that are in your target market. And then you can start to optimize that. And then number 8, evaluate your value proposition as part of a continuously evolving cycle to optimize them based on business changes. So, as the business today isn't the same business that it probably was, 5, 6, 7 years ago. They've probably made some changes. They've definitely, won some new awards and things like that should be highlighted. So, the value proposition is something that's going to continue to evolve and change over time. All right, so that was tip number 1. And so just to kind of recap that. So tip number 1, add a clear value proposition to give people a reason to buy. To give people a reason to buy. That's really the important thing here, because find your adventure anywhere is not a reason for me to buy from NEMO. So hopefully that sticks there. Okay, and let's talk about tip number 2, which is improve message match to increase your marketing ROI. Now, so what is message match? So message match is the measure of how well your landing page copy matches the phrasing of the ad or link that brought the visitor there. So for PPC campaigns or pay-per-click campaigns such as Google Ads, this means matching your ad to your landing page headline. So a strong message match increases your marketing ROI because it reassures people they've come to the right place. So now let's go ahead and take a look, and I'll give you an example of NEMO here. So for example, I just typed in one of their products, which is the Stargaze recliner luxury chair. And that's the one that we can see right here up in the top. So we can see the headline, and then they've got some supporting details right below. So if I were to click this ad, and I'm not gonna, I won't click it because it'll cost them some money. But I did pull up the product page over here on another window. So if we just kind of look at these two, I'll pull these up here side by side. Hopefully you can see that. I know it's a little bit small, but if we look at the headline here, so NEMO Stargaze recliner chair, bestseller swinging camp chair. Sign up for early access to exclusive deals and updates. Award-winning design, lifetime warranty, free shipping, $99 plus. Styles, birch leaf green, Sedona, twilight, and graphite. Now, as we look over here at the actual page that we land on, the landing page, which is actually their product page, there's not much of a message match here. I think we've got the word, of course, NEMO, that's the site, Stargaze, and recliner chair. So there's only a few words that are actually matching. There's no mention of this being a bestseller swinging camp chair, and sign up for early access to exclusive deals. I mean, that's doesn't really have anything to do with the product that they're trying to advertise here. Now, award-winning design does. That's something that we talked about before. Lifetime warranty, free shipping. These are things that definitely apply here. And we do have the ships free here, but a lot of this other stuff is not even mentioned, or actually in some of this, the very beginning is not even relevant, I would say. So I would say that this has, a very poor message match. And these types of things are unfortunately all too common in this space. But on the flip side, the good thing is that these are things that can easily be, easily corrected and updated, in an afternoon. You just got to go out there and kind of search through some of the different ads and things that you have. So really, that's just some low-hanging fruit. So let's talk about what they can actually do about it. So here's how you can improve your message match. And it's pretty simple. So create an exact match between your ad copy, so the headline and the supporting copy, with your landing page copy, which is the headline, and then the subhead copy right here where it currently says innovative features for a fireside favorite, which is not, as you can see here, is not shown at all in the ad. So if your ad copy has any kind of graphics as well, such as images like this one, that also tells a message and makes a promise just like your copy does. So you want to make sure that, if maybe, for example, if this was an ad on Facebook or a display ad and they were using this chair, they would want to use the same chair on the landing page as well. So there's that message match. So people don't get confused and then just hit that back button whenever they land on the page. All right. So just to recap this one again. So tip number 2, improve message match to increase your marketing ROI. All right. So let's go ahead and move on to tip number 3, which is optimize shipping and return information to create repeat customers. So the reason you want to optimize your shipping and return information is because it helps you build your brand reputation, increase trust, and create repeat customers. So while exploring the product page of this luxury chair here, I came across a comment that was down here in the questions, kind of this Q&A section. And it was actually the first question that came up. And it says, and this is what the anonymous person said. So that the recliner luxury chair ships free on page, but at checkout is charging me $50 to Anchorage, Alaska. And then we can see here about a month later, somebody from their staff came in and said, "Hi there. Unfortunately, we're not able to offer free shipping outside of the continental US at this time." This type of feedback from customers is it's really gold. It's not obviously good feedback, but it's gold because they're asking you and telling you the things that need to be improved to make the customer experience even better. Because right now what this is doing is that this is just really causing friction within the buying process. And whenever you cause friction, then it just makes things harder for soon to be or hopefully customers to actually take action. And there's 33 questions here. This is the number one question that's coming up. People have found it most helpful. This is the one that's really kind of bubbled to the top. So this is something that really you should be taking action on. So let's go back up here to the top. So we can see here that it says ships free, but there's no other details as far as like the terms and conditions of this item shipping for free. It wasn't until I went down to the very bottom, once again, back to the footer section where that lifetime warranty was that I talked about earlier, where I clicked on the shipping information. And then here, as we can see here, this first point says free shipping on domestic orders. We offer free standard shipping on website orders over $99 to the lower 48 contiguous states. So if we go back to that question, this guy lived in Alaska, so he's not going to get free shipping. But he didn't know anything about that because whenever he want to buy order the chair, it said ships free. So what are some of the things that, that we can actually do to, improve this experience so we can actually create repeat customers and not customers that, just kind of leave feedback and, probably don't end up buying from us. So here's how to optimize your shipping and returns information. So number 1, add links to your shipping and return policies on your homepage and navigation bar. Those are pretty simple things to do. And you want to make sure that the links are, prominent and immediately noticeable. So, if you've got some space up here up in your navigation, maybe here in the shopping, there's some other information. They could, easily add it here under the more section. You can see they've got the lifetime warranty, but I think, actually adding their return policy here and their shipping information would definitely be a big benefit as well. And then number 2, clearly display your shipping and return policies on all product pages to make it easier for your customers to find them. So this is exactly what I'm talking about here. So I think one of the big things that they could actually do is to make this ships free, actually make that a clickable link. So if somebody were to click it, a little modal would pop up, and I'll actually show you an example here real quick. I think REI has actually done a really great job of this. And I'm just going to click into just one of the product pages here really fast. And just to show you an example. So it says this item ships for free. And we can see it's a clickable link, right? It's got that little hand icon. Free US shipping on orders over $50 or more. And then they've got their terms and conditions. So that's exactly the same type of thing that, that NEMO could actually do here to help, give some further information about what the terms are for this. And then number 3, include a short description of the most important points of your shipping and return policies on product pages. So they could, add maybe they add a bullet point or something under this, or have it, in the FAQ section, maybe they can give some further information about those policies as well. And then number 4, use bold text or colors that stand out to clearly display estimated shipping dates on product pages. So, giving people an, expected delivery date. Those are things that just really help increase the overall customer experience. And then add in a shipping information page with delivery times from different locations to have those customer expectations set. So maybe if you're in the contiguous 48 or in the lower 48, or if you're in Hawaii, Alaska, or maybe even overseas, giving some rough shipping times is also helpful too. And then lastly, number 6, add an estimated shipping date during the checkout process to add professionalism and manage customer expectations. All right, so that's it for tip number 3. So just to recap there again, tip number 3, optimize shipping and return information to create repeat customers. All right, so now it's your turn. So I hope this landing page teardown gave you some ideas for your own outdoor brand. Optimizing your website to convert more visitors into buyers is one of the highest ROI activities you can do for your business. Now, would you like me to conduct a free landing page teardown for your outdoor brand? If so, get in touch to see if we're a good fit. And we'll do the same thing. We'll run through a teardown, give you the details, and you can start increasing your conversion rates this month. So thanks again for watching, and I look forward to talking with you on the next one.